What is up, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, coming to you live, breaking down this upcoming UFC fight card. I'm trying to get more into UFC. I write articles on my website for them. I just haven't done videos for UFC in a very long time. I actually do MMA interviews, which are posted on YouTube, and I like talking to fighters about the life outside the cage and how their fight career kind of goes on. Like I said, I had the pleasure of interviewing a while back ROZENSTRUIK. That was pretty cool. Um, got a couple of signed gloves from him. They're hanging up at my desk. That was pretty, like I said, pretty cool to talk to him. But like I said, I want to get into UFC more videos wise, DFS wise, just because of NBA kind of slowly wrapping up. Like I said, we're in the playoffs for that. So we will pretty soon not have NBA, and there'll be one showdown slates. So I figured, why not? Let's get into more UFC. Let's talk about a little bit more DK wise on a video. So because I know many people don't read the articles, they don't have time. They rather just plug in YouTube and listen to it on the drive to work and drive home. But anyways, hit that like button for me though. Definitely subscribe, and let's break down this card. It's UFC on ABC4. We're heading to North Carolina. We have a fighter on this card that is from North Carolina. There were 12 fights, was 13. And the Angela Hill fight, Mackenzie Dern fight got moved. I'm not really mad about it, but let's talk about this card with the first fight with Jessica Rose Clark and Tainara Lisboa. So, Ty Panther versus Jessie Jess. We have Jessica Rose Clark coming off of 2 losses, which her arm was broke in that last fight 10 months ago. And she's the favorite. That's what kind of worries me. I know she's the more experienced fighter. She has a couple okay wins, not really notable wins. Lisboa, UFC debut. I believe she's the only fighter making her UFC debut on this card. She's a slight underdog at plus 125. Jessica Rose Clark is coming in at negative 150. So Jessica Rose Clark at 8-4 worries me. That worries me a ton. Just because of I don't trust her arm. I don't trust her coming off, like I said, that broken arm. That's what the biggest concern that I have coming into this fight. And I hate betting on, even like I said, betting on first fights, especially like I said on DK. I don't like playing them because it kind of dictates your whole entire night. So if you're a fan, I much rather just not bet on the first fight and move forward. Which that's what I'm kind of feeling DK wise. I'm not really liking that 8-4 price tag. Um, like I said, I think Lisboa is a better striker. I think she can pound Jessica Rose Clark on the feet. If this goes to the ground, maybe Jessica Rose Clark can work a quick submission, but I don't know. I don't know how that arm is. So coming in with the concern, coming in being the first fight, I'm just not going to play this fight on DK. I'm gonna kind of move forward and say I'd rather go to other fights. It's kind of what I'm feeling, especially with the second fight with Brian Battle versus Gabriel Green or Gabe Green. But I had the pleasure of talking to Gabe Green also. Like the dude, but I don't think this is his fight. I am loving Brian Battle here. Both fighters are coming off a loss. They obviously want to win. That was a heck of a loss by Brian Battle. I mean, that was like I said, a step up in competition. Had knockouts, not a couple knockout or win against Sato, Tristan Gore. We know he's fighting um, Bo Nickel coming up, which that's going to be a tough fight for Gore. But like I said, I think this is a fight that Brian Battle can certainly win. Now, plus 100 odds, I'm loving it. Gabe Green coming off a loss to Ian Gary, which we'll see him later on the card. Had a couple of knockout wins, like you see here. Dino Rodriguez, we'll see him on the card also, have a loss there. I am liking Brian Battle at that 7-9 price tag. That's the price tag I want all of. Give me Brian Battle in this fight. Hometown fight for him also. This is the fight that you can definitely target on DK coming in at 7-9. I love it. This is a nice fight. Brian Battle, like I said, hometown fight. I think he's improved his game a ton. I think that this is a fight where he can avoid Gabe Green's knockout power. That's kind of his main goal, is to keep this on the feet. He has decent submission or decent grappling. But I'm, like I said, going to Brian Battle here at 7-9. I like the hometown crowd's going to be behind him. I think he can certainly win this inside the distance also if he keeps it on the feet. But I think we see a better version of Brian Battle here. This fight, this fight. This is the fight that I just don't really even want to talk about. Jin Yong Kim versus Mandy Bohm. You can count for yourself. One, two, three, four. I'll go and count for you. One, two. So we have 6 losses pretty much here. This is a do or die fight for Bohm here. I think that this is the fight where she gets her pink slip and says, I'm out, and kind of go from there. But I think Bohm can certainly win this on the feet, as horrible as that sounds. But this fight, I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest with you. Really don't even want to. The striking for Kim is going to be the main aspect of this fight. This is where she's going to want to keep the fight on. Bohm, though, is not bad on the feet either. The takedown defense, though, worries me for Kim. If this some sort goes to grappling, but all around fighter for Bohm, she's decent. It's just this fight is gross. The price tag's gross. I don't see either fighter paying off that price tag. Like, being good luck if you have Bohm at 7-3. You're going to be one of the few people that do, because this should be Jin Yong Kim. She should win this fight. She should finally get a win, but I'm not paying A9 for that. I'd much rather go elsewhere, like this fight with P. Rodriguez versus Natan Levy. So we saw this fight get scheduled or get rescheduled. I see a lot of people on fully on either side. I don't see people swaying either way. I see people either loving Pete Rodriguez to get the knockout, or I see people loving Natan Levy to get the submission win. I'm liking Natan Levy. I do think that Pete Rodriguez, yes, he's good on the feet. But Natan Levy is going to push the grappling down Pete Rodriguez's throat. He's going to continue to shoot for the takedown. That means more points for us. That means this fight should be heavily in Natan Levy's favor with the wrestling. And that's kind of where I'm going. I think this is going to be a quick fight. If Natan Levy gets him to the ground, which I don't see why he wouldn't, I think that's easily at negative 295 odds. You can put him on a parlay, but an I love Natan Levy here. I think this is his fight to win. This is also another good fight with Cody Stamann versus Silva de Andrade. So Douglas here, plus 105 odds. Stamann, negative 125 odds. Coming off 2 great wins. Stamann needed those wins. Not great wins, but he definitely needed them. He was on a losing streak. It was getting pretty bad. But he bounced back with 2 wins over Eddie Wineland and Moon Lacerda. So we have Douglas, though, coming off a loss to Syed Nurmagomedov and had a good win against Mraz. But 8-5 for Cody Stamann. That's kind of the interesting price tag that I don't know exactly what to do with. I don't know how to feel about that price tag. I think this fight is kind of closer than the odds appear. But Stamann, he's good on the feet. He's good boxing. We also see the grappling kind of going into Stamann's favor. I think Douglas, though, keeps us on the feet. He can certainly win a knockout. Get a knockout win. So we'll see how this battles on the feet. At 8-5, I don't mind Stamann. I'm going to kind of keep that in the back of my mind that I can certainly go to Stamann. But we also have this fight with Carl Williams versus Chase Sherman, the big boys. This is Carl Williams' fight to win. I don't see how he loses. I'm going to go and throw that out there. I do not see how Carl Williams loses this fight. Chase Sherman coming off a loss to Waldo Cortez Acosta. We have Carl Williams coming off a good win. I love Carl Williams here. This fight, he's going to pinpoint his punches. He's a very technical fighter. The volume is going to be there. The accuracy is going to be there for him. He can throw Chase Sherman around on the grappling side. What Chase Sherman has going for him is the cardio is not bad, and the takedown defense isn't bad either. But this fight stays on the feet. This is going to be Carl Williams' fight to win. I like him at 9-4. I want to kind of throw him in there for now. I'm going to see what we can kind of build going forward. But we have 2 legends in the game with Court McGee and Matt Brown. What to do with this fight? Do you play it or do you not play it? Do we go on DK and play Court McGee at 8-7 or Matt Brown at his price tag? I don't know. I don't know what to do here because we have Court McGee coming off a left hook or a TKO loss, and we have Matt Brown coming off a loss to Brian Barberina. That fight was kind of interesting to me. I think that fight he was definitely trying his best. He was staying in that fight. I mean, he got to 6-9 finishing once in a loss, which isn't terrible, but it came to a decision. So Court McGee, though, at 8-7, that price tag's hard for me to trust. Basically, what the hard part is about the trust is these guys. I can see this being a retirement fight for one of them, or even both of them. Um, Brown doesn't have defense on the feet, and McGee will try to push the pace all the way around. I think this is a McGee's fight to win, especially with the grappling. But we did see a good output out of Matt Brown in that last fight. That's what kind of worries me also on the opposite end. So I think there's other fights to target, especially in this fight with Tim Means versus Alex Moreno. I think I'm going to be on the opposite end of a lot of people here. I think people are going to really want to go to Alex Moreno, but I'm kind of liking the Dirty Bird here. I'm kind of liking him. Coming off of 2 losses to Kevin Holland, which is a good loss, Matt Griffin, which is not a bad loss either. But we have Santiago Ponzinibbio loss from Alex Moreno, which was 4 months ago, where he got knocked out, like knocked out. Um, that was a bad knockout for Moreno. Oh, I like Tim Means here. I think this is a fun fight. I think that you know how Tim Means is. He literally is a dirty bird in the cage. He's a dog. He's going to stay in that fight. He's gritty, scrappy. I'm really liking Tim Means here. I think that the odds are definitely would be in Tim Means' favor. We know how Means is on the feet. He's scrappy. Like I said, he's a fighter on the feet. Striking's there. He's going to be really aggressive, pushing that pace, which I don't know if Alex Moreno can hang with the pace. And what worries me is that 4 month layoff from the TKO loss is I don't think that's enough time. I really don't. I think Moreno should take more time. I'm not obviously a pro fighter. I'm not really a doctor either. So I don't know how it is with the headspace, but just like I was saying, from a guy behind the screen, I don't know if that's enough time. I mean, we've seen this time and time again before with fighters coming off of TKO losses. So I'm liking Tim Means here. I like him at 7-4. I think it's a great price tag to pay for him at. Moreno, we know he's a tough customer. We know how he is, but that last fight worries me. I don't know how to feel about the last fight. I'm actually going to switch things up for a second. I'm going to go and show you that I like Goldberg a ton. I do. This fight is single-handedly and heavily in Carlos Ulberg's favor. I do not trust Eeyore here. I don't like him here at all. I'm really thinking that this is going to be a knockout win for Carlos Ulberg. Um, I don't see how Eeyore gets this done. I mean, we saw him against Marcia Rua. I mean, another legend in the game, but I mean, he is on a rampage with these 2 knockout wins. The striking's there for Ulberg. I think he can win this inside the distance. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Give me Carlos Ulberg here by a landslide. We have another interesting fight with Ian Gary versus Daniel Rodriguez. Did you see kind of the interaction they had? That was kind of weird. That was definitely kind of weird. But Ian Gary, 9,000, Daniel Rodriguez, 7-2. I am loving that price tag on Daniel Rodriguez. Again, I might not be the guy who says that he can get the job done, but I think that this is a fight where we can see Daniel Rodriguez hang in here. Ian Gary, the UFC has kind of propped him up slowly but surely, getting him wins underneath his belt, and he's coming in at a negative 240 favorite. We have, like I said, Daniel Rodriguez coming off a submission loss 6 months ago against Neil Magny, which is a good loss in my opinion. Jing Long Lee, good win. Kevin Lee, good win. Preston Parsons, meh. Mike Perry, meh. So we know the tools that Daniel Rodriguez possesses. We know he's a wrestling force, but he's coming off that submission loss, which kind of worries me. But at this stage on the feet, I can see Daniel Rodriguez hanging with Ian Gary. I know Ian Gary is fast on the feet also, but I just don't know how to feel about the competition that Ian Gary has faced compared to Daniel Rodriguez. So at 7-2, it's worth taking a shot on Daniel Rodriguez at. It's certainly worth taking that shot on because I can see him getting that job done. I love that price tag on Daniel Rodriguez. Now we have Johnny Walker versus Anthony Smith. This is another priced fight that is really interesting to me at the co-main event. We have Anthony Smith. Like I said, I think this is the odds kind of shifted. This is a close fight. So we have Johnny Walker coming off of KO win against Paul Craig, and we have Anthony Smith coming off a loss to Nikolaev, which is a knockout loss. If this fight stays on the feet, I don't know how to feel about Johnny Walker's striking. We know it's wild, but I know he can certainly knock out Anthony Smith. I think he can get the job done, Johnny Walker, on the feet and get that knockout win. or it can go to the judges. I think that's the one. That's the two ways that this is going to happen. It's either going to be a knockout win for Johnny Walker, or it's going to go to the judges, and this is going to be a close fight. So that's kind of what I'm feeling. Is we'll see what happens on the feet. If this stays on the feet, I think, like I said, Johnny Walker can get this done. I know his striking is wild. Like I said, I know it's wild, but I think he can get the job done and handle business. Do I want to play him at 8-2? I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't mind it at 8-2. But we have now the fight that we all are anticipating. At the main event, we have Jailton Almeida versus Georgina Rozenstruik, with Jailton Almeida coming in the huge favorite, heavy favorite, and -550, with Rozenstruik coming in at +400. That was a hell of a fight for Rozenstruik with that knockout win versus Chris Daukaus. What did it take, like 20 seconds or less? So let me have Almeida. I don't know how to feel about this fight also, because at 6'6", that's too cheap. Under 7,000 for a main event fight, I think is too cheap. At 6'6", I wouldn't mind it, because we know within the first minute, if Rozenstruik gets the job done, he's going to have a knockout win. It's going to be fantastic for your DraftKings lineups. So at 6'6", to get a knockout win, I wouldn't mind it in the first round. If this goes to the second round, I think this is Almeida's fight to win. As we know, Rozenstruik has no ground game. It's going to be all on the feet. He's going to basically go out there, start swinging his arms off to get that knockout win, to get the job done. So I don't know what to do with that 6'6" price tag. Do I want to pay 9.6 for Almeida? Maybe, if he can get the submission win, because you know he will. We know he'll shoot for the takedowns, and that will rack up your DraftKings points easily. So I can see both sides. I can see where you want to go with Rozenstruik to want that knockout win, or you can go to Almeida to get the submission win. So I kind of understand both sides, but that's what I'm kind of feeling. I'm kind of leaning tiny bit towards Rozenstruik, but that's also my personal bias, because I like talking to the dude in the past. But again, that's don't play your biased in UFC fights. But again, that kind of wraps up this show for us, as though. Thank you for tuning in. Cannot wait to talk more UFC with y'all. Be sure to check out the article. Be sure to check out the article, and we want picks on my DraftKings favorite picks also. But like I said, if you play Rozenstruik at 6'6", that leaves you 9-4 left over. That gives you enough room to play pretty much whoever you want. That gives you a ton of playing around room with Anton Levy at 9-1. If you want to go to a guy like Court McGee at 8-7, but I'm loving Tim Means at that price tag. You can switch Olberg for an Anton Levy. I wouldn't blame you one bit if you want to go that route. But I'm loving Carl Looms at 9-4. I'm loving Brian Battle. Those are my two kind of favorite picks, is Brian Battle and Carl Looms. But again, thank you for tuning in. It's a great safe rest of the night, everybody. Have a good one.